Okay, sorry for the delay in starting. Had a phone call at the last minute. So we appear to be good to go. Let me just quickly measure the amount of distance the pattern takes so that I can not overshoot if I'm not supposed to. Alrighty. So we're looking at roughly 8.5 inches for a pattern. So I'm at 51, 59.5. I can barely get one more complete set of pattern. Should be good to go. Hopefully we can use up more of the thread if necessary. So we currently have only the base level moves. So start out on the blue on the bottom and only that, then on the top and for the right, and same for the left. Alrighty, back to full screen here. Whoops, let me get to where I can see comments. Don't need to see videos right now. There we go. And today was pay tax day, so if anybody wants to do a Rumble rant, I won't turn it down. Or if they want to join my locals. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it looks like I might wind up be giving the cat a lift downstairs if he decides he wants to climb on me, because that would be a little inconvenient. I was hoping he was just going to stay on the bed and watch from over there. And same on the left, just base moves. There we go. Pass that on through. And on top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Looks like the laptop's just a little too close. There we go. Alrighty, that was move 1. So moving on to move 2. It's the same, just the base moves, nothing else. Let's move this over here so I can see it a little better. Alrighty, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I think I might do a Takadai stream tomorrow for maybe about an hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. With Nick Ricada's event in Philly this weekend, I'm not sure how much time I'll have to stream over the weekend, so I'd like to get a fair amount out before then, if that's all right. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Pet the cat a little bit. May have been too much, but we'll see how it goes. Alrighty. And on to move 3. Still just the base moves on the right. On the left, exchange 1 and shed 1 is reversed. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 all on the bottom. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 all on the top. And the cat has asked to go downstairs, so if nobody opens the door in a minute, I'm going to do that. So exchanging 1. And shed 1 is reversed, so 1 from the top. And then the bottom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Well, I'm not hearing anybody opening the door, so give me a second here while I let the cat out of the upstairs, and I will be right back. Hey, Bane, nice to see you. I'll see you too, Gwendolyn. Welcome to the stream. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. The cat is safely ensconced in his personal room, where he has his own bed, his own litter box, and his own cat food. Okay. Ready for the next move? Well, if Ian wants a hard limit of 5 feet, this is the last time through the sword patterns. Okay, exchange 1 on the right. No shed reversals. Exchange 1 on the left, and 1 shed. First shed is reversed. Huh, that's interesting. Looks like the YouTube is way behind, or else it's just catching up for me. Oh, let's see. I think that was it. It was paused on the YouTube monitoring page. Alrighty, no rumble rants. And we are good to go. So exchange 1 on the right. And no shed reversals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Possibly. I think I've got enough for almost 6 feet on here. So 1 from the bottom. Oh, nope, no reversals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it's starting to look like he's not going to be able to have time to pop on a stream when I'm doing his braid. So maybe sometime down the road he'll pop on when I'm doing somebody else's, like Rob's. Okay, we're exchanging 1 on the left. And shed 1 is reversed. And 1 from the top, and then the bottom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 from the bottom and the top 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm probably going to do a Takadai stream tomorrow for about maybe an hour. Depends on how awake I am after getting my allergy shots. Whoops, it's time for a coma slide. I went one too far. Not that it's a major problem. But since Nick's got his event this weekend in Philly, I'm probably not going to be streaming that much on the weekend. Especially not if I look into hanging out with Nick for some time over that time frame outside of the event. Alrighty. Moving on to move 5. Exchange 1 on the right, shed 1 is reversed, exchange 1 and 2 on the left, and shed 1 is reversed. Exchange 1 on the right, shed 1 is reversed, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, I am 417 subscribers away from theoretical monetization. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But I still need to get about 2,500 more watch hours done, which is going to be the fun part. I'll enjoy the broadcasting. It's getting enough people to watch for long enough. And I have officially hit a leader. Let's see. Don't know how well that's going to show up, but yeah, I have reached the end of the line on this particular one. So this is as far as I can go. But that's probably at least 1.5 feet. Alrighty. And on the left, 1 and 3 and 1. We are back to those for a little while. Or actually, a fair amount of while because we're just starting from the tip of the sword. There's 1 and 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that means I need to pick up the spools and make up a warping frame for Rob's braid. So 1 on the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Which I can probably do on a weekend with no big deal. It's basically some boards, some screws, and some binder clips, and a bunch of wooden spools or plastic spools, whichever is easier to get. All right, we are ready to move on to the next move, which is number 6. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the right, and 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. So since it's going to stay this way for a while, I'll probably only bring up the design infrequently. But if anybody wants to see it, I'm happy to bring it up whenever. Alrighty, and let's see, any rants? Nope. And let's see, let me see how many people are actually watching on Rumble. I got to reload it after the video stream starts. Okay, we got 1 person watching on Rumble. Hello to the Rumbles. There we go. Possibly. It'd be nice for an over-the-shoulder quiver strap. That way he'd have the design across his chest. It would look pretty nice. All right, so 1 and 3 and 1 on the right. And what was I going to say? I was just talking about the warping stand. I'll possibly post pictures of that on my locals. Probably should have counted that out loud, but for the people around, they probably heard it quite a few times. So if I miss it once or twice, it shouldn't be a problem. And the cat has decided he's had his food and used his litter box, and he's now out downstairs. I can tell because he's a polite cat and knocks when he wants to be let out. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And moving on to move 7. 1 and 3 and 1, and 1 and 3 and 1. There's 1. Which means I need to spend a little time tweaking the braid design for Rob, whether he wants it just repeated in the same position or if he'd like them cartwheeling through the design. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Also, whether or not it looks good if them cartwheeling. Reverse like they are on this braid shouldn't be a problem. I'm just not so sure how well the design is going to go with it rotated 90 degrees to the braid. Well, mock-ups are what they are for a reason. Let you see what it's going to look like before you actually do the work, or do all the work. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. There's 1. Let's drop that one down just a little bit. There we go. And 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Not sure how long I'm going to braid tonight. Last night I did not get that much sleep because I was figuring out how I was going to pay my taxes. I apparently did not withhold enough and save enough from my constable work. But in 7 years as a constable, it's the first time I've made enough and not had enough counterbalancing expenses to mostly neutralize it out. Which means I need to spend more money on constabling. All right, 8. 1 and 3 and 1 on both sides. There's 1. I'm also thinking maybe to make it easier for a belt if I do 2 of the gold-plated D-rings at the start. It would be easier to have a belt buckle mechanism out of it. So 1 from the top and bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'll have to ask Rob if that's what he would like. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oops. Grab the light cable there. Guess I'll just have to move the light back a little further and see if I can't wrap it. There we go. There we go. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. Yeah, I'm going to have to start pausing a little bit as I get these leaders to pull over the knot that ties them off to from the thread to the leader. Okay. Where are you snagging along here? There we go. That was 1. And that was 3. And 1 from the top. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And one from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I know one of the main reasons Ian's not coming on is because he's paying attention to some important cases in Canada. All right, so we're on to move 9. 1 and 3 and 1 on the right, and 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. Here's 1 and 3. And 1 from the top, and bottom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Well, there's only about 3 or 4 of us on here, but should I do a poll for the next person to do a braid after Rob? Kind of thinking Robert Barnes, but I could also do Viva or Uncivil Law. I'd also like to do Gary from Rodrick or Clarie Cassan as well. I'll probably get to all of them eventually. Just it's kind of the order when we do it. And I also need feedback from them as to what design they want, since I don't want to just... I want to do something that they want. That's a big part of this. I like making stuff, but I don't like making stuff that is not appreciated. So if somebody doesn't want a braid from me, that's perfectly fine. I would rather not do the work rather than do it and find out they just tossed it in a drawer or gave it away to somebody for that they don't really care about. Just here, have this thing. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I am now 1/10 of the way through this pattern. And we are on to move 10. 1 and 3 and 1, and 1 and 3 and 1. Also, once I get them past the leader knots, they tend to unroll on their own a bit at that point. So I might have some of them hit the floor and have to re-roll them. And 1 from the top and bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Last couple of days, it's cooled down here to the highs in the 50s, lows in the 30s, and the wind has really picked up. 1 from the bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. However, the new hickory trees, as in like they're about 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old at this point, in the backyard are looking like they're going to start growing up real tall this year. Apparently with hickory trees, the first 5 years or so, they spend all of their energy on growing their taproot down and don't really start springing up until after about 5 years or so. Hopefully this is the year. I planted them about 5 years ago. I think I got them in 2018, so this is 2023. And they were supposedly 2-year-old seedlings when I got them. So 1 from the top and bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So they are due. One of them's always been a little bit bigger than the other one. They haven't grown much though. So it'll be interesting to see which one does better. I think the one that hasn't been growing quite as much is the one that's been sitting in the shade more than the other one. But I like the flavor of hickory nuts. They're kind of like walnuts without the bitter part of the flavor I don't like. So that's why I've been looking forward to getting nuts from them. So I am going to have to make a mechanized or hand crank nut cracker because they're a pain to crack individually. And then once I got enough of them, then I could like run them through a nut cracker and then use like the water method to float off the broken shells, and or is it float off the nut meat and leave the broken shells on the bottom? I forget which way. It should work one way or the other. All right, we are moving on to move 11. 1 and 3 and 1, and 1 and 3 and 1. Do apologize, my eyes are burning a little bit. But not too bad. I think I can keep going on. And 1 from the top and bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I think once we get past the opening stages of allergy season, I'll be doing much better. And I did miss several allergy shots over the last couple of months. So 1 from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Partly due to being sick with COVID, partly due to traveling. And why is that one? That's why that's doing it. I did not get all of the... Okay. Let's try that again. 1 from the bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That looks much better. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. There we go, that's 1. And 3. And 1 from the top, and then the bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. That one just passed the leader knot. And on to move 12. 1 and 3 and 1. There's 1 and 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. Nope, we're down to 2. Apparently I'm annoying somebody. Or not interesting enough. Or they got other stuff going on. Let's not assume the worst. Nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. Guess I'll go and eat some worms. I'm polite. I didn't try and sing that. There we go. And 1 from the top, and then the bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And we are moving on to move 13. 1 and 3 and 1, and 1 and 3 and 1. But first, it's time for a coma slide. There's 1. And 3. And 1 from the top and bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 from the bottom and top, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. There's 1 and 3. And 1 from the top, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 from the bottom. There we go. They normally started with like about 1.4 meters. And I think they got like, I don't know if 1.4 meters is the finished length or not, but usually less than 6 feet. And they tended to be used at this particular style tended to be used as obi ties on kimonos. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, I think it's, if I remember right, it's 2.4 meters of raw fiber to start out with, so probably about 6 feet is the traditional finish length. I understand what you meant. But this, I mean, as long as you've got the fibers, you can really just make these as long or as short as you want. So, but yeah, as my understanding, it's traditionally an obi tie, and they were at probably about 6 feet length on average, or shorter. Though one of the braids I've made, I'm not sure exactly how long it's supposed to be, but it is a recreation of a 16th century Shinto temple braid, and it was in a sutra bag, as I understand it from the description. So I don't know how long that was actually supposed to be, but I did about a 6 or 8 foot version of that. Okay, so we are going on to 14, which is 1 and 3 and 1, and 1 and 3 and 1. Yep. Yeah. Understand about not wanting to attract internet rage. I've actually at one time was thinking it might be fun to make a braid as a belly band for the gear we use camping, and it's a 14-foot diameter gear. So that would have been something on the order of like 50 or so feet of braid, and I'm not sure I would be up for that. Though I was thinking like really heavy fibers, like super heavy yarn, but still, even doing that with a pattern, that would be a lot of work. Be definitely worth like 6 or 8 times what the gear costs to buy. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the top. So 1 from the top, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 on the bottom. I might take a slight break out and do a just standard pattern braid on the Taka-Dai for before I start Rob's. I'll have to see how I feel about it. If I did that, I'd probably be using DMC floss for that. And 1 and 3, and 1 on the left. Yeah, just getting the silk for Rob's braid with the shipping and everything from Japan was about $100. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Actually, we camp about 3 weeks at a time. So, but yeah, ratio would be interesting. Plus, we could use it year after year. No, pearl cotton is not too thick. It just depends on the type of braid you want to do. I use DMC floss because it's easy, it's not that expensive, and I can set it up quickly. But the silk here, I try and do 12 threads per strand. But I could use like 1 or even 2, probably 1 to 4 threads of pearl cotton, and it would probably be just as fine. It would have a slightly different texture and look, but it would be a perfectly acceptable fiber. I'm doing the silk because I like the way it feels. I like the way the finished product looks. It's not the super glossy like rayon look, but it's a nice, smooth, soft look to the finished product. And in case I didn't say, welcome to the stream, Muddy Mirror Wifey. See, we're up to 4 people. Oh, we're doing pretty good tonight. Absolutely, Gwendolyn. That would work great. My wife made some Marodai braids out of Tencel, which is cellulose fiber, and it looked really nice. And I have also seen people use bamboo embroidery floss for Kumihimo braiding, and it looks great. Pretty much any usable fiber is probably, depending on how you do it, would probably look acceptable. My wife has done braids with yarns that have a lot of fringe on them, and she gets them to look pretty decent. Yep, silk is definitely durable. Alrighty, so 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, I did finish 14. It's on to move 15. Setting it up to where I have a check on where that I know what move I'm on based off of where it is on the Kona was definitely a good idea. So 1 and 3 and 1 on the right. So once again, asking the traditional favors of a streamer. If you have not already, if you could like the stream, I would definitely appreciate that. And if you can, since I'm pretty sure most of the people watching this are already subscribed, if you could share it in places where you have people that you think might be interested in it, that would help me a lot. 1 from the top and the bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I haven't checked Social Blade recently, but the big boost I got from Rob and Ian about a week ago might have pushed me a little closer than 6 months to get to 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube side of things. I'm still only 11 subscribers on the Rumble side, but I've actually made 3 cents on Rumble since I started streaming on there and not just uploading videos. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. Sorry, tax day makes me think about money and what I can and can't do based off the funds I have available. needs to drop a little bit. All right, so 1 from the top, and then the bottom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I do appreciate those of you who watch who are also on Twitter who retweet my announcements. That helps me get from like 9 or 10 people seeing it to more than that. Or if Ian retweets it, that gets me up to about 3,000 views before I broadcast. Yeah, I understand about that, Vane. It took me like about 5 tries over 3 hours today to get the stream set up on the Rumble side of things. Fortunately, they do have a nice feature where you have the one URL to go to, and it brings you to the most current stream or the most recent stream if there's not one pending. And we're moving on to move 16, and it's still 1 and 3 and 1, and 1 and 3 and 1. Sorry to hear about the allergy fibers, Bane. I can understand how that goes. And 3. But one of the things I've definitely noticed as far as social media, streaming, and stuff like that, the more cross-pollination you get, the better you wind up growing overall. I'd probably do fairly well if I started doing shorts on TikTok, but TikTok just gives me the hives when I think about it. Though I probably will eventually wind up getting an account there and trying to grow my channel that way. Though it probably won't be a major streaming source for me. I could also probably get a little bit of a boost up on there because one of my nieces has over 100,000 subscribers on TikTok at the moment. Though she had her account demonetized for a while. Though I'm not sure why, because she mainly was doing cat videos. And 1 from the top, and bottom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that one passed the leader. So yeah, they're all jumping past the leader knots now. So we are definitely closing in on the home stretch on this braid. Alrighty, we are ready for move 17. There we go. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the right. And 1 from the top, and the bottom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 from the bottom, and the top 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Well, from Ian's Monday stream, the Warhead soda sounds like it might be fun to try, but I'm trying to stay away from sugared drinks. I really need to exercise more. Unfortunately, I've got a sore foot that's been bothering me. That makes it a little difficult, but I'm going to do my best to do that. Also been making it a little easier to gain weight, so I'm going to have to counteract that as well. I see the sleep doctor this Friday, so if they wind up diagnosing with me narcolepsy and give me something so that I can, like, you know, when I'm awake, be awake, I might be able to do more. I hope that will be the case. Or they come up with something that will help me. I'm really tired of being tired all the time. I can sleep anywhere from like 3 hours to like 12 hours, and I wake up and I'm the same level of tired. And it's the tired you'd expect from 3 hours of sleep, not 12 hours of sleep. And on to move 18. Yeah, that the picture was interesting. I'm not sure I could trust any of the, Scorpion or Reaper sodas. And apparently the jalapeno soda was rather just disappointing in general, not hot at all, just tasted weird. Pickle one wasn't that good either. Sugar and dill is not something that appeals to me, though I am a very big dill pickle fan. One from the top and the bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Another thing that helped my channel is I need to get some of the time lapses I've been doing on the 3D printer uploaded, but I need to figure out some way to put music or something on them to make them more attractive to people to watch. Because what I've been doing, I've been getting some complaints from people as to okay, as to how they are presented. That's unfortunately where unfortunately, I tend to get a lot of views when I do shorts. And that helps grow the channel too. Makes it more appealing to people who want to come and see this. Thank you very much, Moneymirror Wifery. I'm rather pleased with how they turn out in general. I'm just trying to make them more interesting to general people who aren't necessarily into 3D printing or whatnot. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if I could handle that level of heat, though I do find that I definitely do like warm and spicy foods. I prefer spices that have flavors. So I'm not interested in just hot. I just like the flavors that come with some of the hotter or some hot peppers in general. So I go for flavor over heat when I go for that. Okay, so one from the top and the bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That looks right. And one from the bottom and top. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And at move 18, that puts us 20% of the way through this pattern. And just popped another leader knot. We're definitely getting them mostly all at once, which is actually a good sign because that means that I was able to warp them up mostly the same length and not wasting some, getting some extra short or extra long. Oh yeah, the Hot Ones challenge where you get like 10 different levels of hot sauce. You start out mild, you go all the way to the top, and the last dab for the hottest one. I'd be interested in trying that. I'm not sure how well I could deal with it, but it also helps to know that it's just temporary and it's not doing permanent damage. Once I realized that, I was able to put up with hot stuff a lot better. Okay, so 1 and 3 and 1. But yes, I did catch him when they did the Hot Ones challenge. And one from the top and bottom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There's a webcomic that I really like that the main character is a definite hot fiend for sauces. By the character's name is Sydney Scoville. And she wasn't named for her love of hot sauces. That just happens to be her family name, which is probably why she got interested in hot sauces, according to the creator. She's also a superhero who is genre savvy. Sorry, let's try saying that without slurring my words. Genre savvy. Is a comic book store owner, and is actually really able to game the power she's got fairly well. She's got a set of 7 mysterious orbs that have somehow bonded to her and orbit her, that give her superpowers. And she's not the most powerful superhero out there, but her power level is growing the more skilled she gets with them. She gets level up options for unlocking more powers as she gets more skilled with them. So she may eventually wind up being the most powerful one. So one from the top and bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I don't need 9, I only need 8. There we go. But it's been going on for I think a little over 10 years now, and I've been enjoying reading it. It's girlpowercomic.com, if I remember right, and that's GRRL Power for the name of the comic. All right, so that was the bottom one. So, and one from the bottom, and top is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hope I'm not getting too distracted with chatting, but I'm enjoying the chat. Makes this more fun. Yep. I understand some of the really hottest levels can do some actual damage, but it's almost impossible to do that by accident. Though chomping on Carolina Reapers wholesale probably gets you pretty close. Alrighty. So why is the mouse not working? Huh. That's odd. Let's turn that off and on, see if that improves it. Yep, there we go. Must have lost connection pairing somehow. All right, so on to move 20. So 18, 19. Yep, we're on to 20. All right. So 1 and 3 and 1 on the right. There's 1. And there's the leader there. And 3. And 1 from the top, and then the bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Pass that on through to the other side. And 1 from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Got to do every other one, not every one. And there we go. Then we break on through to the other side. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. I might actually get this one done in time to show Nick before I send it off to Ian. There's 1 and 3. But probably not unless I really, really push it through on Friday. But I'm working mostly a full day Friday to try and get some extra overtime hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I'm missing some time because I got to go to the sleep doctor in the morning before work starts. Well, before I go into work, it's actually after work starts, which is why I'm losing time on that. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But I'm only about 2 weeks away from going on to a 4-day-a-week schedule, which will be nice because I'm used to that type of schedule. That'll give me 3-day weekends. Yeah, I'm definitely not to that level of heat. If I'm having reactions like that, I'll either work myself up to it slowly to where it doesn't have a reaction like that, or I just won't do it. Alrighty, we are on to move 21. 1 and 3 and 1, and 1 and 3 and 1. I think it's somewhere around 27 or 28 where we start getting into the cross guards. And there we go, just past the leader knot on that one. There we go. And we had that one pop between the coma blocks. There we go. And one from the top and bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And one from the bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I do have a somewhat of an advantage in that when I have the really hot stuff, the next day's Ring of Fire experience is not really something that bothers me. It's not uncomfortable or something I fear. And there we go, past that leader knot. All right, so this one goes up here, and that one comes down. There we go, and 3. There we go. And one from the top and bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And one from the bottom and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And jump past the lead knot on that one too. And we are ready to go to move 22, but it is time for a coma slide. There are some patterns I enjoy more than others, though that's more on the Maridai. This one, it's not really a pattern other than like, the sword blade I can do fairly easily. It's not really a pattern that I memorize that easily. If I did it enough, I probably could. I've done kind of like a laurel leaf 2-layer braid where they kind of comes out like this and like that, and when it hits the crossover point, the colors change top and bottom. I did a really nice braid of that in silk for a friend of mine as one of my like 3rd or 4th ever Taka-Dai braids. And once I got that one memorized, that was nice to do. But if I can actually memorize the whole pattern, those become rather fun braids to do. If I have to keep looking at the chart, like on these, normally that's a problem. This, not so much, because I tend to like it's not where I'm having to, like, what is my move again? What is my move again? It's what is this particular pattern of how I vary the move? And I'm comfortable with the base movements and the variations I do on it. So it's not like I don't know this one, I have to keep looking, and that's kind of gives me a mental itch on those type of braids where I don't ever really get the pattern down comfortably. But there's not many of them. I think I've only had that once or twice, and I think over time I eventually got to the point where I was able to memorize them. But those are Maridai patterns. Hey, Kathleen, nice to see you on. All right, so I just did the coma slide, and let's see, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we're ready for 22. We are at 22. We're good to go. And 1. Hey, Kathleen, we have gotten to the point where I am reaching the leader knots and jumping over to the just hanging off the leaders. So I'm getting very close to the end. If I need a stop exactly at 5 feet, I haven't gotten word from Ian yet if that's the case. This is the last pattern. If I can do more, I can probably get one more set of swords before I run out of silk on here, but I don't know if he wants it to go up to possibly 6 feet. So 1 from the top, and then the bottom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm hoping eventually, if I do get enough of a subscriber base, that I can start winding up on some other shows, like maybe eventually, Flashcast or Simcast or something like that. But that's probably a good 5 years away at the earliest, assuming those shows are still around then. 1 from the top, and the bottom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So if my personality is interesting enough that some of the people I've been talking to online and doing braids for find it worthwhile to just have me as a guest or come on my stream, that'll probably accelerate it. I don't know if my personality is all that interesting, but some people seem to think it is. So, and on to move 23. Hey, let's go ahead and bring that up. We see the first sign of the crossguard. So that will be move 27. Okay, I thought I remembered around 28, so I was in the ballpark at least. So there's the crossguard starting. But as of now, we're still 1 and 3 and 1, and 1 and 3 and 1. And let's get back to there. And YouTube monitoring looks good. Not seeing anything on the Rumble rants. And see how many people are watching on Rumble. Looks like 3 people, so we're up to about 8 people watching simultaneously. That's a very good night for me. Alrighty. And back to StreamYard. There we go. Ooh, I am sorry to hear that, Kathleen. Yeah, I can see that happening. I've considered pre-ordering more than one copy for stuff I wanted to give out, like the Larry Correia's In Defense of the Second Amendment. Though if you do get the audiobook, it does not have the footnotes. So getting audiobook and the Kindle or hardback version is a good thing, depending on how you like to listen to it. All right, so we are move 23, so that's 1 and 3 and 1. There's 1 and 3. And shed 1 is reversed, so 1 from the top, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oh, Kathleen, since you weren't on earlier when I was talking about it, I was thinking maybe in the future for braids that look like they might wind up being belts, doing 2 D-rings to make it easier to have a functional buckle on them to wear them. And 1 from the top and the bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It won't be all that more complex to be able to do it. The method I'm doing now will easily adapt to going over 2 metal bars as it will over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on to move 24. There we go. See more of the crossguard there. Let's see, there we go. When I mouse over it, unless I click on the screen, it doesn't necessarily show as a mouse pointer. Alrighty, so we are on move 24. Makes me think of Devo, except instead of ship it, it's whip it. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the right. And 1 from the top and bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. There's the 1. And 3. And 1 from the top and bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And 1 from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. I suppose I could get up early on Friday morning and have a long stream then. That would be nice to the people over in Japan, for those that want to watch from there. Or Australia. There we go. And on to the next move, which is 25. And there we can see the actual upper cross guard. And 1 and 3 and 1, and 1 and 3 and 1. There we go. Yeah, nose is getting stuffy. Like I said, it's start of allergy season. Hopefully getting my shots a little more regularly, like the one I'm going to get tomorrow, will improve on that. And 1 from the top and bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The only thing is they knocked me out like Benadryl, even though it's just a desensitization of my stuff I'm allergic to. And 1 from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And just whack myself in the glasses with the sword. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the left. Fortunately, not very hard. Oops, this one's snagged up. Let's go ahead and get this unrolled properly. There we go. So far I haven't hit them yet, but there's probably a couple in here that I'm going to have to stop and super glue them because their threads are uneven tensioned once I get past the leader knot. All right, there was 1 and 3. And since I've got 3 Marodais, I should really set up 3 braids so I can alternate through the Marodais while I'm doing the setup for the next Taka-Dai braid. So, and intersperse it with Taka-Dai braiding streams so people have a little more than just a single braid pattern for so long. I'm hoping that'll improve engagement for the channel as well. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, my allergies are mostly just bad hay fever, but I've had them for most of my life, and some seasons it was hay fever from February through to November, and that really sucked. So it's one of the reasons why I'm so happy to get allergy shots. Alrighty. And we are ready to move on to the next step, which is 26. This is the last one before we start the cross guards. So while it's still 1 and 3 and 1 on both sides, there is the upper cross guard. And 1 and 3 and 1 on the right. There's 1. And 3. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And on the left, 1 and 3 and 1. There's 1 and 3. And 1 from the top and bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And 1 from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 from the top. And on to move 27. All right, so 1 and 3 and 1 on the right, and on the left, 1, 3, and 5, and shed 1 is reversed. And there's 1. There we go. And 3. And 1 from the top and bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 3, and 5 on the left. So there's 1 and 3. Four and 5. And only shed 1 is reversed, so 1 from the top and bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let me catch up on chat real quick. Sorry to hear that about the not really many recipes. I can understand how that would be frustrating. And we are now 30% of the way through this braid, or this particular iteration of the pattern. We are ready for move 28. So 1 and 3 and 1 on the left, 1, 3 and 5, or 1, 3 and 1 on the right, 1 and 3 and 5 on the left, and sheds 1 and 3 are reversed. Still 3 people over on Rumble. Okay, so 1 and 3 and 1 on the right. There's 1 and 3. And 1 from the top, and then the bottom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, that's where I said that some of them might unroll on their own, and I have to re-roll them. Looks like that just happened. Alrighty. As you can see, I do a very long leader. Alrighty, let's get this one tightened up again. Probably was waiting for the knot and just fell off there when it popped too far. And there we go. All right, so I just did the bottom one there, so do the top one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And 1, 3, and 5 on the left. So there's 1 and 3. Three, 4, and 5. There we go. Sheds 1 and 3 are reversed, so 1 from the top, 2 from the bottom, 3 from the top, and from the bottom 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Excuse me. And 1 from the bottom, 2 from the top, 3 from the bottom, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And ready for the next move, which is 29. So 1 and 3 and 1 on the right still, and 1, 5, and 7 on the left. Sheds 1, 2, and 3 are reversed. And 1 and 3. And shed 1 is reversed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 5, and 7 on the left. So there's 1. 3, 4, and 5. And 7. There we go. Sheds 1, 2, and 3 reverse. So from the top, 1, 2, and 3. Bottom is 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1, 2, 3 from the bottom. Top is 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. I don't know if it's available for my level of account, but I was thinking, oops, I'm sorry. Good night, Mighty Mirror Wifey. It was good to have you on. Oh, I have not. I am going to try and send him a PM or a super chat or something like that so that I can see if he's going to come on and let him know that if he wants to come on during his braiding, he's going to have to do it fairly soon, or else he'll have to come on when I'm doing somebody else's braid. But I'm really hoping that he does have a chance to come on. Let's see. And we are ready for the next move, which is 30. And, oops, I'm sorry, I didn't show the move. 1 and 3 and 1 on the right, and on the left, 1 and 3 and 7. Sheds 1 and 3 are reversed. And I think I'll probably stop at 30 here, because it'll give me a chance to do a coma slide. So there's 1 and 3. And shed 1 is reversed, so 1 from the top, and then the bottom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 1 from the bottom, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And 1, 3, and 7 on the left. There's 1. Roll past the leader knot. There we go. 1 and 3. And 7. And sheds 1 and 3 are reversed. So 1 from the top, and 2 from the bottom, and 3 from the top, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Pass that on through. And from the bottom, 1, and the top 2, and the bottom 3, and the top is 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. It's time for a coma slide. I don't know if I have access to it at my level account on locals, but if you guys would like, I could see about potentially doing multi-streams onto locals as well. And if that's the case, I could have a live chat there for people who wanted to keep the chat going on past the stream if you guys feel like it. Alrighty. Anything else anybody need? If not, I'll go ahead and end the stream. Let me just check, see if there's anything on any of the on Rumble or anything else like that. I really appreciate everybody who's come by. It's made my night much better. And I hope you've enjoyed the stream. We've actually had 5 people on for a fair amount of time on YouTube. That's really nice. Alrighty. Whoops. Give it a second for, there we go, StreamYard to catch up. Woohoo! Congratulations on the dental work. Thank you, and thank you. Alrighty, I will go ahead and end the stream. Happy braiding, and stay safe, everybody.